The remains of some liberation fighters who passed away in Zimbabwe and Zambia will be arriving at the Waterkloof Airforce Base. Our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is monitoring developments there at the Air Force Base. Khayelihle, of course, you have been there for some time now. There was an expectation that the plane would be arriving earlier this afternoon at around about 2 p.m. if memory serves me well. Just talk to us about what the latest is there currently.
Well, absolutely, Nati. So the initial time was 2 p.m. But as you know, that on the other side of South Africa in Zimbabwe, there has been also a ceremony. So we understand it has taken a bit of time with the proceedings there. And as you know, that South Africa worked with a number of governments really to make sure that these repatriations, really this occasion is coming into being. But I'm going to take you through to what is a very important position, Nati, where the families really are waiting with bated breath here at the Waterkloof Airforce Base. I mean, for a number of them, it's something that has been happening for a number of years. So this is just a culmination point. But I'm going to speak now to Todd Matshikiza's family. So Marion joins me now. So I would imagine, Marion, this has been quite an enormously long time waiting for this period. How are you feeling right now? And I would imagine you're exercising a bit of patience given, the delays that we're seeing now.
Well, it's understandable given the logistical challenges of bringing people from all the provinces in South Africa. I have to say that the organizers have done an amazing piece of work, and I'm very grateful to be here to participate in this event.
Tell us about Todd Matshikiza. I mean, this was an incredible journalist. This was a man who really was an embodiment of art, who left such a very indelible mark.
He was a great dad, I'll start with that. At a personal level, a great father. As you know, he was a musician. He was involved with bands like the Merry Blackbirds, traveling not only within South Africa, but also to Mozambique. So we have photos at home of those performances, performing with people like Dorothy Masuka, Dolly Ratebe. And in spite of that, as his daughter, I can never remember Dad being away. He was such a great dad. He would always have time for us, even after a tiring journey. He's known for his King Kong. Of course, everybody knows that's what he's best known for. But many people don't know that he also wrote amazing choral music. So in addition to jazz, he was very good with choral music in the indigenous mode. You may have heard of Hambagahle, a song which is widely known in South Africa and which was performed at Archbishop Tutu's funeral in Cape Town. There's Makhalipile, written for the departure of Father Trevor Huddleston, I think around 1959. And there's Uxolo, which he wrote, I'd say 56 thereabouts, to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the founding of Johannesburg. So it was specially commissioned for that purpose. He wrote, in addition to his work for Drum, where he reported on social, cultural, and political issues, he also wrote independently on the power of Black South African traditional music in the fight against apartheid. And there are some really, really interesting, hard-hitting articles. And that's partly the reason why he was banned. And of course, you may know about his autobiography called Chocolates for My Wife. It's a study of his life in South Africa, but also in Britain. And because it was slightly critical of the government of the day, again, he was banned. I should say that he was very hurt. He was a very friendly, open, sociable, laughing man. When Dad entered the room, everything just lit up. But he was hurt by the exile, and he'd always dreamed of coming back because his cultural roots are in South Africa. His music, his writing, it all stems from here. And so for me, this is really an amazing event. It brings his dream to fruition and also that of the family. Yeah.
Maybe before I let you go, Marion, take me through to the process, the exhumation, and also identifying a place for reburial. Surely that must have been quite an enormously taxing process.
You mean now recently?
Yes.
I was invited as a member of the Matshikiza family to participate in the exhumation process. Obviously, the family were not allowed to sort of watch the physical process. But first of all, I should say I was enormously impressed by the work that's being done by the staff of the NPA, specifically the Missing Persons Task Team. Compassion and yet humility, very knowledgeable, the skills, the forensic knowledge. It was a moving experience, a very, very moving experience, yeah.
Lovely. Anyone want to add a word or two? I know it's a blistering hot day here in Centurion, but a word or two about Todd Matshikiza.
Yeah, it's closure. That's what is most important, and very grateful to the South African government for this occasion. The main thing is he's back home, even if we can't see him, but his remains are back home, which is very important for him. Obviously his soul will rest in peace. Thank you.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much indeed for your time. So, Unathi, that's one of the families here really waiting. That's Matshikiza family. So they're waiting here with bated breath. I mean, when you talk about arts industry, that's the name of Todd Matshikiza. It's really synonymous with the art industry, but obviously other families as well. The Duma Nokwe's family, we understand as well, he's going to come back in South Africa. So as you can see that the families really are still waiting here. So I'm going to see if I do have a time or a minute or two really just to get a word from Mr. Kubega. So, good sir, here we are. So we're still waiting here with a great deal of patience. We know of the role that was played by your father, Ntate Makoti, within the ranks of the PAC. How are you feeling about today?
Today I'm feeling very much excited. When there will be a touchdown, I last saw my father, in 1986, in Dar es Salaam, and some of the members have not seen him since the 1970s, as it were, because he left in 1962, So basically it's just, a mind-boggling but fulfilling. Yes.
And we're willing to wait with all the delays in Zimbabwe and stuff.
No, basically we have to wait. We can't go back home, without seeing the touchdown. Even if they can say it's 12 o'clock in the night, we will wait.
All right. Thank you so much indeed for your time. So, Unathi, that's Mangoba Kubega. So, Kubega, in fact, so that's one of the sons. So, waiting patiently for his father's mortal remains to touch down here in South Africa. So, there's a sense of gratitude from the families as they say thank you to the South African government. But also something that is key is that we do understand that the South African authorities, they will cast the net wide, where they will go to countries like Angola as well, Tanzania, even in Americas, in Europe and many other parts of the world to make sure that they bring back the mortal remains of the heroes and heroines of South Africa.
An important one, this one, Khayelihle, and of course, as you've also touched on the fact that families are very grateful. I've seen in the previous interviews, in fact, that you've done, that they've been very grateful not only to the South African government, but also the governments of Zimbabwe and Zambia, which is also an important one to note. But closure, it is for those families. Of course, Khayelihle Khumalo coming to us live there from the Waterkloof Airforce Base in Pretoria.